Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about curb parking. I had a comment from Sabertoothed and Trade A15. Both of those smart drivers were having some challenges with parking along a curb and getting within 6 to 9 inches of the curb. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is don't practice curb parking first. Go out to a parking lot and practice slow speed maneuvers. Go to your local rental shop and get some of those 36-inch, 1 meter tall pylons, and you only need 4 of them. They're less than about $15 to rent for the day, and come out to the parking lot and do slow speed maneuvers. Now, I can understand the difficulty that you're having because there's huge blind spots around the vehicle, and when I get to the rest of the video here, I'll talk to you about blind spots around your vehicle, and the larger the vehicle, the bigger the blind spots. So do slow speed maneuvers. Those will improve your overall driving. And the other thing that I'm going to say about that, 7/8 of your road test is in a forward motion. 1/8 of the road test is slow speed maneuvers. Unfortunately, it's that 1/8 of the road test that's going to give you the most difficulty and the most challenges. Yet, slow speed maneuvers, yes, they're not sexy. It is no fun going to a parking lot and driving around slow, especially when your friends are watching. You don't want them to see you. So you have to do it because it's going to improve your overall driving and help you park near a curb. I too had that challenge. When I moved to Australia in early 2000, I had to take my license test again, and I was sitting on the other side of the vehicle. I had no concept of how far the other side of the vehicle, the curb side of the vehicle, was away from me. On my road test / training, because in Australia the driving schools do the road test, and I did training as well as a road test, the examiner got me to park near the curb. Well, I was sitting on the right side of the vehicle. I had no idea where that left side of that vehicle was, and I bet you I was at least 5 feet away from the curb. So I understand your challenge. I understand how difficult it is to get close to the curb when you're parking, but practice slow speed maneuvers, and those will translate into your overall driving and help you to park better. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go to the parking lot. I'm going to show you how to do slow speed maneuvers that will improve your overall driving, especially curb parking. So stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Smart Drivers, welcome back. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about how to park along a curb. And the first thing you need to know about your vehicle, you need to know about the blind spots around your vehicle. The blind spots around your vehicle are fairly significant, and out the front of the vehicle, your blind spot is more than 6 feet to be able to see an 18-inch pylon. If you move that pylon out to the back of the vehicle, it's even more significant. It's more than 20 feet before you can see that 18-inch pylon out the back of the vehicle. So there's a significant blind spot out the back. The second biggest blind spot on your vehicle, not really surprising, is out on the passenger side, and it's almost 8 feet from the passenger's door out to that 18-inch pylon that you're able to see it from the driver's side. If you measure the inside of the vehicle, and I have a small SUV, it's 4 feet, so it's 12 feet, more than 3.5 meters out to that pylon. So there's a fairly significant blind spot on the passenger side, and the smallest blind spot on your vehicle is out on the driver's side, which is not surprising because that's where you sit and are positioned in the vehicle. It's only about 3 feet or approximately 1 meter out to the 18-inch pylon on the driver's side, as you can see here in the image. You know that the second biggest blind spot around your vehicle is on the passenger side. Therefore, to get close to a 4 to 6 inch curb is going to be somewhat challenging. So the first thing you need to do in order to be successful to park along a curb, go out and do slow speed maneuvers. Get those 36-inch pylons and practice backing around corners, backing up on either side of the pylons, and driving along those pylons, so you get a good sense of space management of the vehicle. And I come back to these slow speed maneuvers again and again. Yes, they are not sexy. They are not sexy in any stretch of the imagination. As I said in the introduction, you certainly don't want your friends to see. But if you want to be an overall better driver, you got to spend time doing the slow speed maneuvers. And if you don't want to drive over the curb when you're parallel parking, when you're doing 3-point turns, or you're trying to park along the curb for the purposes of your road test, you need to spend time doing slow speed maneuvers. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't spend the time in the parking lot doing slow speed maneuvers, you're not going to be successful parallel parking. You're not going to be successful parking along a curb, and you're not going to be successful doing 3-point turns. These are the slow speed maneuvers Yes, they are a very small part of a road test. However, they are the parts of the road test that give new drivers the most grief. So spend the time doing slow speed maneuvers, and this will translate into all of your driving and make you a better driver overall. So do the slow speed maneuvers, know what the blind spots are in your vehicle, and know the challenges that you're up against. So what we're going to do here, we're going to hook up the cameras, we're going to go for a drive. We're gonna park along the curb here. The first thing you want to do when you park along the curb is you want to try and park behind another vehicle. That's going to make it the easiest for you in terms of parking along the curb, because the other vehicle is already along the curb, and you can determine as you're coming up whether that vehicle is far away from the curb or not. So mirror signal shoulder check, and we drive into the curb, and this vehicle is a little bit far, but we're just going to look at that vehicle, and we're going to pull up behind that vehicle, and we're going to come to a stop. And you can see now that we're at a stop. Vehicle into park if you're driving an automatic, into a forward gear if you're driving a manual, parking brake on, shut the vehicle off, and secure the vehicle. And that's how you park along the curb. That's the easiest way. If you can park behind another vehicle, then you have something to gauge off of, and you can simply park and park well behind the other vehicle, because we knew that we had to be in a little bit farther off this vehicle because it's a little bit far off. Now we're going to leave the parking space, so we have to back up into a reverse, parking brake off, look behind us before we start moving. When you leave a parking space, you always have to look behind you before you start backing up. That's the number one reason for crashes, is because people don't look before they start backing. Back up, signal, mirror, shoulder check, vehicle coming, another vehicle, and we're safe. Steer, look in the direction we want to go, and we proceed. Now we're going to park on the right here, and mirror signal, shoulder check, and there is no curb here and no vehicles because it's winter time here. So we're just going to drive past the driveway. The parking meter is my landmark, and I want to park so it's off the front corner, and I want to use that because I want to be about 3 feet in from that parking meter, because I know the parking meter is back from the curb about a foot, and I want to be about 3 feet away from it. That way I know that I am going to be close to the curb. Now I can't see the curb here because of the winter time, but you need to pick your landmarks and look far ahead. If you look farther down and you can situate the vehicle along the curb according to those landmarks, that is another technique that you need to do, and it translates into your overall driving. Look where you want the vehicle to go, find the landmarks that will help you to line the vehicle up with where you want it to park, and then line the vehicle up and move into the parking space. And again, we're in the parking space, into a forward gear, into park, parking brake on, turn the vehicle off, secure your belongings inside of the vehicle, and you can leave. Now we're on a road test. There's no vehicles in front of us. Mirror signal shoulder check, nobody coming, into a forward gear, parking brake off, mirror signal shoulder check again because there was a delay, and we proceed. And we want to park along the curb. We look far down, signal, shoulder check again, and we move in behind this vehicle, and that vehicle is nice in a good spot away from the curb. We simply line up ourselves directly on this one with the taillight and pull up so we can just see the top of the bumper on that vehicle. It's a little difficult because of the glare here. Cancel your signal, secure the vehicle, forward gear, into park, turn the vehicle off, secure your belongings, lock the vehicle as you leave. Now, again, we're on a road test. The examiner has said you can go. Parking brake off, into reverse, look behind you, back up 3 or 4 feet, mirror signal shoulder check, into a forward gear, mirror signal shoulder check, nobody coming, steer the steering wheel all the way to the left, back to the right, and we proceed. Quick review of parking along the curb. One of the ways you can do it is go out and buy yourself really expensive rims. Then that way you're not going to bang into the curb or drive over it because you're going to scratch your expensive rims. The other way you can do it is 1950s they had curb feelers which you can mount on the side of your car. That's another option, but I don't think they're readily available anymore. And that scratching noise might scare the driving examiner, so it's probably not recommended either. Anyway, Despite technology and other things that you can do, you need to know how to pull in beside the curb for the purposes of a road test. So again, know what the blind spots are in your vehicle and practice slow speed maneuvers. Go out to your local rental shop and rent those 36-inch, 1 meter tall pylons and practice slow speed maneuvers in a parking lot. As I say again and again, it will translate into your overall driving and make you a better driver. So go get some of those pylons, practice your slow speed maneuvers, and after you get comfortable parking alongside those 36-inch pylons and you actually have something to see, then go out and start parking along curbs. First and foremost, if you can park behind another vehicle, that's going to be the easiest, because you can determine how far that car is from the curb and then simply line yourself up behind that car. If you need to move in a little bit closer because the car is far out from the curb, you can do that too. So it's a lot easier to park behind another car. If there isn't another car and you have to park along the curb, look for your landmarks, parking meters along the curb, trees along the curb, and look far down the road. That way you're going to be able to line your vehicle up in the parking lane easier. And that's what you need to do, not only to center your vehicle in the lane, but also to park. Look down the road. Don't be trying to look at that front corner, because that's not going to work for you. Because again, as I said in the introduction and the prologue, the blind spot on that side of the vehicle is almost 12 feet. That's a long way from where you are, so you're not going to be able to do that. So you need to look forward to be able to park the vehicle along the curb. That's how you do it successfully, and those are some tips and techniques that will help you to be able to do that for the purposes of a road test. Question for my smart drivers: do you have any tips for new drivers learning how to park along the curb that will help them learn how to do that successfully? Leave a comment down in the comment section there. All of that helps out the new drivers working towards getting their license. I'm Rick with Smart Drive Test. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what you see here, share, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section as well. Hit that thumbs up button. Check out all the videos here on the channel if you're working towards a license or starting a career as a truck or bus driver. Lots of great information here as well. Head over to my website, more great information and online courses that you can purchase. Stick around to the end of the video, funny bits and links to the other videos and to my website. Thanks again for watching. Good luck on your road test, and remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now. This is for LaDonna, because she wanted me to smile more in my videos. And yes, I have to constantly remind myself to smile. So, big smile for LaDonna, and she wanted me to stick my tongue out.